is the podcast for you and you and you and you. Tejas Hunt Club.
I'm gonna have to add that in there now. That's
It's
funny.
the podcast for you and you and you and you.
That's funny. Well, we have two intros on that one. Well, guys, welcome back to the Tejas Hunt Club Podcast. Jared and I are here today because Jared killed 2 turkeys this weekend.
Double down.
On the opener in South Texas. We hunted on Saturday and he hunted on Sunday because, well...
Goliad County Fair and Rodeo.
Yeah, Goliad County Fair and Rodeo strikes again. Saturday night we went to the dance and I had all intentions of waking up and meeting Jared out there to film, and well, it didn't happen. Not because it didn't wake up. I woke up. I did. 5:30. I was ready to go. But it was a little fuzzy. I kind of made a
Safety decision.
Grown-up safety decision not to get in a vehicle and drive. So that's why we didn't get it on film. But Jared did get some videos. I was really upset with myself, but Jared got some videos from it, so we'll put those together and we'll get them on Instagram and Facebook in the group and everything. We're going to do the podcast. He hasn't told me the story yet. I didn't want to hear it. We're going to wait till today, and we're going to hear from start to finish. I guess we can kind of start on hunting on Saturday.
Yeah.
When I did wake up and go. Actually, it's kind of messed up because on Saturday I showed up early and caught a little nap before Jared came out of the camper because, I don't know, I guess I misjudged time and I thought it was going to take me a lot longer to get ready. But yeah, so caught a little nap, picked him up, and we went out there and got on the John Deere and everything and rode out. And we got to the first spot where I guess y'all had been seeing him, the week before, because y'all did some scouting and stuff. And then, like, how many birds did y'all see then?
So the Saturday before opening day, I went out just driving in the Gator, and it was like 8:30 or so in the morning, and kind of went across the creek, went down the road, and made the first curve. And there's a group of 10 to 12 just sitting there. There's probably 2 to 3 gobblers in each group. 10 hens or so, a few jakes running around, that type of thing, and then watched those pass and went around the next curve on the long straightaway, and there was another group just like it. So we were covered up with turkeys. The weather was beautiful. It was 70 degrees. Sun was shining. Everything's green. So it was good. And then Tuesday, went back out there. My nephew had to do a 4-H project for the fair and wanted to do some photography. So we went out and caught some images of strutting gobblers and all kinds of good stuff.
Yep.
They were same place. We had them pinned down pretty good. Didn't know where they were roosting, but we know where they'd be kind of mid-morning. So.
Yeah, and we posted those pictures Eli took on the Instagram and stuff, and then Jared and them posted them in the group. So, yeah, I mean, it was some good groups of turkeys. I mean, toms in each one. So, I mean, it was kind of like just ripe for the picking.
They are definitely grouped up. They have their group of hens, and they're not going anywhere without them. So
yeah, and then we went from nice, beautiful weather to a nice cold front that blew in. It was pretty chilly. I think it blew in like Friday night.
Yeah.
Had a whole bunch of rain, cold weather, wind was blowing, and pretty hard too. So that kind of switched it up from what it was the week before. And I mean, I'd imagine that has some effect on the turkeys. I mean, that kind of puts them back into winter and kind of out of spring. I mean, I saw some stuff on Instagram. People were taking pictures of bluebonnets in the snow out in Big Bend. So like that's cool from a photography aspect, but like just to be able to see bluebonnets in Texas in the snow, that's definitely not something anybody would think about, but pretty cool to see. But yeah, so that blew in, and then like I said, we went out that Saturday morning in that first spot. I mean, we waited for the sun to come up a little bit, saw a hog run by.
Sprinkling the whole time.
Yep, sprinkling the whole time, and then saw a hog run by, and then we got out when that sun came up, and you out-hooted, and we were probably, 120 yards from him.
Yeah, 120, 200, something like that.
Opening more turkey season, and it's raining. Go figure. It's about probably 46, 48 degrees, something like that. Trying to strike up a bird. Had a little piggy run by over here around his feeder.
Got him. I'm coming for you, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And he gobbled on the roost, so we knew where they were. So we made our way that way and called to them a little bit more just to figure, kind of pinpoint where they were. Ran up on some cows and kind of it's laying down in the brush, and they got up and ran. And hopefully, we were thinking that the cows wouldn't run towards the turkey, so we kind of cut off and went around the cows so they wouldn't move anymore. And then picked a spot, sat down. Jared started calling a little bit, and he was gobbling back to us, and we thought it was going to be a slam dunk.
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
The game was on.
Yeah, definitely. But they pitched down from the roost, and he gobbled 2 more times when he got to the ground. And there's a big group of them, a whole bunch of hens and toms and a couple jakes, like you said you've been seeing. And they started walking towards us with I guess a recon jake, if you call it that.
Lookout.
Yeah, he was making his way out front. He got pretty close. I mean, Jarrett was calling pretty good, and they were making their way, and he kind of cut off in the brush a little bit. And I guess we didn't use any decoys, but I guess he just didn't think it was right. And like I said, all those hens and that tom was making their way there, but that tom was in the very, very back, and he was blowed up, strutting the whole time. We got video of that, luckily. But that Jake just turned around and took him back the other direction.
He was about 15 yards, and then the hens were right behind him, and the tom was a good 60 yards. If he would have came a little closer and poked around that brush, I might have taken that shot. But it wasn't a good setup.
No, it wasn't. And I mean, even with all those hens around him too, it was tight, like you said, real tight shot. So they kind of made their way back and went around the corner a little bit. So, but the strange thing is, after that gobbler quit gobbling, that after he came down off the roost, no more sound.
That was it.
Not from the hens, not from the jakes, anything. They were completely silent. So, like you said, that I think that weather, how cold it was, and the wind blowing and the rain and everything, it affected them. I know, being talkative, I guess. So
it shut them down for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they were, like I said, they were moving around, but they just weren't making any noise. So after that, we tried to cut them off, but kept running into that, kind of catching them in the wrong spot, or not being in the right, or getting ahead of them, and they're coming in behind us because we just couldn't figure out where exactly they were because they weren't making any noise.
We got behind them and couldn't catch back up and cut them off.
Yeah,
to where they were going.
Yep.
There's a Jake in there. I think there's got to be at least one gobbler, but I can't see his beard yet. Maybe on the right side. Oh, say we ease on up there.
Take a break from turkey hunting, play a little cowboy.
Turkey hunting in the morning, cowboy midday. Oh, hold on. Super puncher. Sorry.
Gone. Gone. Oh, baby. Yeah. But that day kind of ended. We ended that morning. Then we got to go play a little cowboy.
Yeah.
Move some cows around. That was pretty funny. We made a post about that. But after that, I'm gonna let Jared talk about Sunday.
Gotcha. Yep. So where we started Saturday morning,
Yeah.
we walked down the Sendero, got on our spot, and kind of sat right there. So I went back, parked the same spot, knew where they were going to be. Sure enough, I'm sitting in the gator just listening. They're firing off, same time. I'm like, okay, we'll get out and start walking down the Sendero and get down there. I get to about the point where we were, and I said, what do I want to do? Because before that morning, when they didn't come to us, they went back and down the fence line.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm going to try to outsmart them. Let me go to the fence line. So I set up on the fence line clearing right there.
Yeah.
Figured they come right by me that way. They did not. They didn't do that. That prefaced my whole morning, because every time I made a decision of they're either going to do this or they're either going to do that, they would do the opposite of what I picked. And so it was a long morning because of all that. But I sat on the fence line, same thing. We're talking back and forth. There is there's probably a Jake and 2 gobblers in this roost this morning. And hens are going back and forth. Total different day, right?
Yeah.
Because of the weather. And they're going crazy. I'm just kind of hitting the call a little bit, letting them know I'm over here. They fly down, and I think, okay, game time. And so I'm sitting there. The Sendero we were on is to my right. It goes all the way down back to the road back there. And before you know it, they're gobbling along the way. And before you know it, I hear them gobble that way. And I'm like, crap. It's like they did the exact opposite. I should have sat in the same spot that me and you were, and it'd come right to me, and it would have been over at 7:45. And that didn't happen. So I got up and kind of went off in the brush a little bit, paralleled them, and just they went down the Sendero. I was in the brush, headed the same way, and I just kind of wanted to cut them off somehow and get in front of them, because they weren't really coming to calls. They would. If you could get a hen's attention and talking to that head hen and get her meandering that way, the group would come to you, but gobblers would not venture off. And so I tried to do that. I hit the road, the gravel road we were driving on.
Yep.
And right around that bend, I tried to set up on there because I thought they were going to take the same trail and go down that way. So I sat on the bend, and they were kind of gobbling the whole way. I could hear them this time, knew where they were coming. By the time they got to me, they were not coming down the road. They were in the brush. And so I'm talking to them. The hen's talking to me. There's one boss hen that's sitting there chirping the whole time, and then 3 or 4 gobbles and that kind of deal.
Yeah.
They get on the edge of the brush line, and I'm chirping to them, and all 3 come to the brush line and kind of do one of these and see if they can see that hen.
Yep.
When they don't see the hen, they all venture back into the brush. And if you remember that creek's behind all that, and it kind of just comes to the property. So they're starting to head back that way. And I'm like, well, crap, I don't know where they're at. I'm just going to get up, see if I can find another group. So I get up and start walking, go down to the creek, see if there's any in that hayfield that we had talked about too. I look over to the right, and there's one lone hen coming down the fence line going into that hayfield. I'm like, okay, cool. There's another one probably 200 yards behind her. I look over to the creek, kind of where it bends, where they went into the creek down there. And there's 2 gobblers just kind of rustling around in the sand, kind of just dusting themselves, doing that whole thing. I'm like, okay, morning routine. This is what you're doing. And I tried to kind of set up on them, waiting for those gobblers to come over there. The 2 hens go in the hayfield. The gobblers don't. So I'm sitting there just watching and glassing them. And then they finally just meander back up to the road. I'm like, okay, well, let me go around and try to get in front of them there. Go over there, can't hear them. They won't even come out of the brush. So about this point, it's like 9:30 or so, and I'm like, well, let me get in the gator and I'll make a round around the ranch and see if I can see out into clearing and see if I can find another group.
Yep.
Do that, kind of, take the trip around, come back around to the opposite side where I can see the hayfield again and see 2 gobblers, 4 hens, and I think that was it. Yeah, 2 gobblers, 4 hens, and they're on the opposite side of the hayfield. About 10 o'clock now.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I think they're going to come straight towards me across the creek like they've been doing all week long. And so I go down and kind of cross the creek, and there's, as you come up, you can kind of hide yourself kind of on that face because it kind of goes up, and you can just kind of walk along the creek and hide from them in the hayfield because it kind of goes up into a hill. And so I did that, was watching them. They never cut back and come my way. And so, like, well, are they going to go further down? Are they going to cut and come back to me? And so I'm there for 20, 30 minutes, kind of just watching, seeing what they're doing. Lo and behold, they keep going straight. They can see me the whole time. They can't see me, but if I were to get up and go anywhere, they could spot me pretty easy. So I'm just sitting there watching. And they there's a hill that goes over with some trees and some higher grass over there, and the hayfield kind of continues around the corner. And so I wait until the whole group kind of crests that hill, and that gate that we came in and out of right there.
Yep.
You saw some in the pictures that were posted earlier in the week, but that gate, I just kind of quietly went through that gate, kind of walked up that hill, and the grass is high enough to where it kind of hides you, and you can kind of just be on the other side. And at one point I had to get down on hands and knees and crawl so they wouldn't poke their head up and see me.
Yeah.
So did that, kind of where I was spotting them, they'd poke their head up, and I would just sit there and
Did you call Annie when you were doing this?
Not one bit.
Yeah.
I just, they would respond to it, but after looking and not seeing a decoy or seeing that nothing was there, then they would do something different.
Yeah, so it was almost better just not even let them know you were there.
I'm just stalking at this point.
Yep.
And so I'm crawling on hands and knees, and the grass kind of makes a circle around these trees, and then it goes off into the hayfield, and they're coming around that other side of this mob of trees and grass. And I can see them kind of meandering that way. And I get as close as I think I can on my hands and knees and kind of just sit there. And I didn't want to go any further because I knew they were coming.
Yep.
And the minute that I decided to keep going, that head would poke around the grass and look at me, and I'd be busted.
Yeah.
And at this late in the game, when I'm that close to them now, I would have been so pissed off at myself. So I was like, just sit here, Jared. Just sit here and wait. And so I can see where the toms are. They'll poke their head up and kind of look around, and the hens are just kind of going through the hayfield. And I just sat there for a good 10, 15 minutes. Well, it's been a very long opening weekend. Yesterday, Saturday, it was raining and about 45 degrees, and these birds did not want to cooperate. This morning, it's about 50 degrees. They were gobbling, came off the roost. I've been chasing this group all morning long, at least
3 miles. Couldn't get ahead of them. What I thought I did, they went the other direction. Ended up in a hayfield right behind me out there. They went over the top of a hill, could finally get in front of them. Poked my head out, they poked their head out, and got both of them. Doubled on the opening weekend. Let's go check it out. Numero uno. Some old hooks. Oh, good beard on them. Good bird. Good bird. Check out the other one. Numero dos. Oh, there's the better one right there. Look at that one. That's probably my best spurs right there. My goodness. Nice beard on too. Go get them skinned out in the freezer. 2 of the 4, turkey season 2023.
Lo and behold, I see a couple heads poke around. Well, the gobblers have been in the back the whole time. They're the first ones out. And they could have gone that way into the hayfield, or they could have kept coming around. Depending on that, is it a good shot? Is it not a good shot? Luckily, they came around kind of towards me, and both of them just kind of poked their head out. And so I wait till they kind of fan out and turn around, and I kind of raise my gun up on my knee, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, it's now or never. You know, this is close as you've been to these things all morning long, and this is the best shot opportunity. And it was good. It was probably 40, 50 yards. I mean, it was a little further, but I knew I could make it. And right as one of them stopped fanning and just kind of put his head up, when I was about to pull the trigger, they both gobbled at the same time, and they did this. And so when I shot, the one I was going for hit the ground instantaneously. Yeah. He's done. Good night. That's it. I get up right away because that's what you do. You want to go stomp on him or whatever you want to do, right? And so you get up and try to go retrieve the bird real quick and see if he wants to fly off, but he was done. The other one's kind of circling around, and he's going a little slower, and I didn't realize I hit him.
Yeah.
Right when they gobbled like that. And so I took another shot and took him down too. But,
yeah.
Good birds, both good birds. I think the one was about a 3-year-old, had a little shorter spurs on him, still a good beard. The other one, as you'll see in the video that I sent to you, I see the younger bird first. That's the one I hit second. Walk over to the other bird, and that's at least a 4 or 5-year-old bird. He's got a little longer beard, but the spurs on him
were bigger.
They were bigger.
Yeah.
So
nice. Yeah, I mean, they look good. And like, there's something told me when I finally did wake up that morning, I was like, man. And I walked outside and I was, messing with the dogs and stuff. And I was like looking at the weather and I was like, them birds are moving right now. Like, it's a whole lot better right now than it was yesterday. And I think probably then it was probably like 9:30. I think so. So probably when you were still chasing them and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we got something to eat. We were getting ready to go to the rodeo because we were going to shoot that. We were trying to get there a little earlier. And then that's when you texted me right when we were getting our stuff ready. And then you sent me the picture of them. And I was like, yeah, I knew it. I knew it. And then I didn't expect 2 birds, but I knew you were probably going to kill one for sure.
I didn't even expect to shoot both of them, honestly. I mean, I'm good with one bird.
Yeah.
It's the first weekend of the season. But once I kind of saw him not as fast as what he probably should be going, I took him anyway. So.
Yeah, definitely. I'd make that decision too because, I mean, there's a chance he's just going to run off and die anyway.
Oh,
but, yeah. More turkey meat, another fan, beards and spurs. And then that was the older bird or that was the younger bird?
That was the younger bird.
The younger bird, yeah. But he still looked good too. Oh, yeah. Dude, that's awesome. Like I said, man, I was so mad I wasn't there like to get it on film and stuff, but, is what it is.
Look, I got 2 more to go, and you got all of them.
We
got
the whole
season. So.
Yeah. And then next week, I'll be headed down to Mathis to DEA.
Yep.
We're gonna go guide down there, and then we'll both be down there the week after that.
First?
Yeah, the first.
Yeah.
So we'll be down there another 2 weeks of turkey hunting for sure. We'll be getting those on film. So, it's up to those guys that I'll, pose a question, be like, hey man, you want to get this on film or not?
Yep.
Let me know. But if not, that's perfectly fine with me. This is your hunt. This is your deal. I'm just here to call and help you kill a bird. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll definitely send them home with some cool pictures though after they kill stuff. So
you never know on that, man. I'll be honest with you, and I could be wrong, but when it gets that late in the morning, and that's the best opportunity you've had, and like the situation that kind of happened to me is. It's not the best filming environment.
Oh, no,
You're kind of just trying to get up there and get a shot and do all the things. So it's a hit or miss. You might have been able to get that kill shot or, might not have been good. So.
Yeah, but we'll see, man. I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad you got the birds and everything. And I started off the season right. Hopefully it keeps rolling on.
Here's what I've realized things. I'm glad I learned stuff turkey hunting every year. I've done it, almost 3 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really started kind of running them. But, I can call pretty decent. I'm not the best in the world. Definitely not east of here and how crazy they get with that stuff. But I can talk to them and I can usually get them coming my way or whoever's way. And but I'm not the best by far. But whenever things don't work out and they do the opposite of what you're doing, what I've realized is, look, I may not be the best, but I've kind of have a no quit.
Yeah.
And usually that no quit and I'm not going to quit because as soon as I do, it's going to happen mentality. And that's turkey hunting or deer hunting or whatever. Mule deer hunting in Idaho.
Yeah.
Once that happens, you're done. But it's usually the last day, the last hour that finally comes together.
And then you keep trying to make it happen and try to make it happen. And, like you said, you make a decision, it's the wrong one. Well, what do I need to do now to get back in position? And I think, that's what I like about turkey hunting. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you want to hunt from a blind, do it. You want to, just sit and hopefully they come by, go for it. But I like running and gunning and moving around.
Yep.
Like even bringing the decoys, if you got like a hen and a jake or something like that, just stay light and don't have to have a full setup, and just move around and chase them and try to put yourself in position to kill one. And I mean, like I said, talking to them is fun too. That's the best when you can just talk to them and they're just
when they
start
coming your way.
Yeah, that's
like Saturday
cool
morning first thing.
Yeah, that's cool to see. But even just keeping that element of being able to move around and change positions and stuff is key, I think, to killing turkeys. Because it, like you said, you make a plan, them turkeys aren't going to do what you think they're going to do 9 times out of 10.
So if the plan goes the way it's supposed to, Saturday morning, how they responded to us, how they came right off the roost and came directly towards us.
Yeah.
And the Jake was 15 yards. The Tom was 60. You know, there was a line coming to us. That typically tells you, okay, this is when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you would have told me like Sunday how all that stuff unfolded, there's no way. They're just too tough to get in front of and all that. But it was literally the last 10 or 15 minutes of that hunt where I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
This might happen.
Here it is.
So
yeah, it's going to happen. Well, cool, man. Glad we got to record this, tell the story and everything. We'll get it uploaded because we didn't upload one on Monday. This is Monday, so we'll probably get this one out on Wednesday or so. Be a little late. We apologize, but it's coming. I promise. It's coming. And then we'll get those videos on YouTube and stuff too.
So funny story. Casey Shelton.
Yeah.
He was, I sent the pictures to him and stuff. He's like, oh, that's awesome. And he texted me today. He's like, hey, I showed your turkeys to my dad. He said we should go out to Sarco. So I was like, well, I'll go out there and call him up for you. So he's all excited about
turkeys. There you go, dude. There you go. That's all it takes, man. That's all it takes. Because like I said, where we're from, there's a ton of turkeys. And people don't really hunt them. Like, not like that. I mean, if you hunt them during deer season or something, you might shoot one at a feeder because it's there and you want the deer to come in, and then you'll cut it up and eat it then or whatever. But people really don't hunt turkeys that much. We have a lot of people coming from out of state down here to hunt turkeys, but the local community really, for the most part, don't hunt them. But that's okay because we will. For sure. We will for sure. But yeah, man, we'll get this podcast out. Thanks for listening, guys. This was pretty short, but we'll have another one coming next week for you. Peace.
Appreciate it.